All right, so this is a big deal and I'm gonna get into it, but first I gotta set the scene for you so that you can really feel what this video is gonna be about. So just give me a second. I'm gonna paint the scene and then I'm gonna get into it. So you can close your eyes, you can just envision this scene that I'm about to explain to you. So imagine a land where black gold flows beneath its feet, yet its people queue for hours for a few drops of petrol. This isn't the opening of a dystopian novel, it's the real life paradox of Nigeria. But then comes a twist in the tale, as gripping as any thriller. Enter Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, with a plan so bold it can be straight out of a movie script. In a move that's shaking the foundations of the oil world, he decides to build the largest oil refinery on the planet, right in his backyard. This isn't just a story of David and Goliath, it's Goliath taking on the world. As we peel back the layers of the saga, envision Nigeria, often seen as the sleeping giant of Africa, suddenly waking up. Imagine the hustle of Lagos, supercharged by the newfound energy independence. This is more than an industrial revolution, it's a tale of a nation flipping the script. But hold on, the plot thickens. This isn't just about refining oil, it's about refining the destinies. It's about the power of private ambition fueling national resurgence. Think of it as the Great Refinery Revolution, where one man's drive ignites a nation's potential. So buckle up as we dive into this electrifying story, exploring its shockwaves, the doors it flings open, and the epic lessons it etches for countries worldwide. Let's decode the Dangote effect, where ambition meets opportunity, creating a legacy written in oil. So hopefully you're able to imagine just a world where Nigeria is flipping the script. Hey, we always had oil, we always had issues with oil. The biggest thing is not being able to refine the oil. Instead, we ship our raw crude oil to other Western nations to refine it for us. Now, something is happening. Something's going to be different for the years to come. But before we get into it, got to always, if you want to support the channels and support what I'm doing, then you got to head over to my 7-week Wealthy Entrepreneur course. And basically it's for those of you out there that you want to do something, you're not sure where to start as far as just starting a business, whether you're abroad or you're back home and you want to understand, hey, like what step I should take first, what should I do first. I always recommend you need to work on yourself. You need to understand what your goals are, why you're doing this, and you need to develop yourself first so that the chances of you being successful is more likely. It's not just learning the technical stuff of business and all that other stuff. Like, no, you need to work on yourself. So I built this course because I couldn't find any other course like this out there. And basically it focuses on the fundamentals of business. So you're going to get the fundamentals of business, but also you're going to get with it just the personal development side and ways that you can develop yourself. So plenty of action steps, practical information, so that it's not just like theory or just telling you what to do. No, every week is focused on you taking steps so that you can get to the next stage and to be better for it. So it's 9 modules. If you go to it, you'll see exactly what it is. And then I open up like the first week, and a lot of the different sections up for free, so you can check it out, see what it's like, see if it's your style. And then if you do enjoy the content that's already out there for free for you all, then you can decide, get the whole course and just change your life and get on the right stage of just improving yourself. So everything starts with investment in yourself. You're not going to get to where you want to get to, at least in a reasonable amount of time, just doing everything on your own. You have to invest in yourself. You got to spend money. All the successful people out there, they spend money. They spend money on themselves, and that helps them save time so they can get to the next level instead of making costly mistakes or making mistakes that just take too much of their time. No, it's better go to the people that you know, leapfrog all that the failures and stuff like that, and then you can start at that level. So that's what I'm offering. If you want to support, or if it's something that's needed for you, or just you just want to develop yourself, just work on your personal development, then check out the course, see what it's about. If you like it, sign up and go ahead, buy the course, make that investment in yourself. It's almost 2024, so there can be the first investment in yourself for 2024. So also, if you're in the DMV area, then you definitely want to check out my meetup groups. I got 3 of them. One is for entrepreneurs in the DMV, focused on West African development. The other one started for Yorubas, but really opened up to West Africans. And this is just more of a social, get to do events, things of that nature. So that's the second one, any Yorubas here. And then the Afro Post was something that I was really thinking hard of what to make. And this one focuses on just conversations, dialogues, a little bit of debate on just different topics that's happening on the continent. Anything of interest, anything like that, allows people just to come together, have their own positions and argue their positions and in a friendly way, in a respectful way. So if you're interested in something like that, then definitely go check out the links in this video's description, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so I just read you that monologue, and I'm sure you're thinking, okay, what does it mean? So I basically want to just talk about, the first thing is, who is Aliko Dangote? So I'm surprised, I'll be honest, I'm surprised when I come across other West Africans that don't know who Aliko Dangote is. Now, I'm in the US, I'm in the West, the DMV area, and so maybe it's because they're far removed, they don't really know who the major players are in just West Africa. They only know about presidents, but Aliko Dangote is a special character, so I'll just give a brief bio of him. He's the Nigerian billionaire, business magnate, and philanthropist. He's the founder and chairman of Dangote Group, and it's the largest industrial conglomerate in West Africa, one of the largest on the African continent. Very much vital to West Africa due to his significant contributions to the region's economy. He employs a lot of people, and his businesses are involved in cement. That's how he got started. Sugar, salt, and flour. They've created thousands of jobs, boosted local manufacturing, and aided in reducing the country on imports. So he's fostering economic growth in the region. So he recently just completed what's trending right now with him is he recently just completed the largest oil refinery, I believe, in the world. I believe it's in the world. Sometimes I get different accounts, but it's in the world. And obviously it's to refine the oil that Nigeria naturally has into usable fuel, so that we don't, because the situation right now is currently Nigeria drills, it sends that crude oil, that unrefined oil, over to, I'm not sure which country, but it's somewhere in Europe, and then they refine it, and then Nigeria has to buy it back. So you see how it's just wasted time, wasted energy, wasted money for sure. And it's just ridiculous, because the refineries that are in Nigeria, they just can't handle the capacity, or they're not efficient, they don't work well, like a lot of things in Nigeria, and it's a miss for Nigeria. So that's what he has done. He's also the largest, or he's the richest man and really black man in the world, richest African in Africa. So, and then this is his picture right here, as you can see, from northern Nigeria, Kano, there you go, Kano, and he's all about the business. He doesn't say much. He doesn't get into like social media activities like that. I think he's 66, and he's just about just making moves behind closed doors. Like he's not boisterous. He's not loud. He's just doing his thing, and he's making a lot of moves. And that's why I see a lot of the big players that actually contribute the most to society. They're like behind the scenes. They don't need the limelight. So if you spend some time to learn more about Dangote, then you understand that just his journey teaches the importance of, you need to have a long, clear vision, and you have to be persistent. You have to always keep working on your goals. You can't stop. You always have to be about it. So just want to give a quick breakdown. So of course he got his oil refinery. This is it. He just finished it, I believe, in this, I think it was September or June of 2023. So this year, depending on when you see this video, last year I guess. But he just started receiving the first shipments of crude. He just got some additional barrels, and this article just talks about it. But I'm just going to talk about, I don't want to get into the technical part. I kind of just want to bring up what it actually means. What does it look like? Okay, so like, what is refinery and all this other stuff? What can it mean for a nation when someone when this happens? And so I'm going to break down just very simple so that you understand, and then you can go out and have intelligent conversations with other people or inform them of what's actually happening in Nigeria. And of course, you look like the smart one out of the bunch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll put this picture back up. You take a look at it, and I'm just going to read just a little bit of, I'm just going to go through what it actually means. So it's the largest in the world, marks a significant turning point for Nigeria's economy. And this is just a breakdown of the consequences and opportunities. So the first one, reduction in oil imports. So historically, Nigeria has, actually, let me do this. I like to feel like I'm talking to somebody. There we go, got my notes. All right. So, okay. So the biggest thing is just reduction in oil imports. Historically, Nigeria, like I said before, is always importing oil because they don't refine it. It just, if you mismanage things, if you don't have a good maintenance culture, things start to decay. That's what's happened to Nigeria over the years. Hence why, hey, this was a really important thing. So that's the first thing that's most major. And then of course, when you refine your own oil, when you process your own stuff, you don't have to rely on a third party to do it. Then that cuts the cost, the shipping, and then time, and then they're gonna try to make a profit on their end. So then on your end, it's so because you cut that off, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for the people. It's just so much better. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. The economic impact of this refining on the country. The refinery can transform Nigeria's economic landscape, similar to how the discovery of refining of oil boosted the economies of countries like Saudi Arabia and Norway. So if you look at the history of those two countries, just look at what oil did for them and see the possibility. Now, that's also to say their government structure is different. So that's the variable. Like you just never know. So Nigeria can expect a surge in revenue from oil. This will not only enhance government revenues, but also provide more funds for public welfare and infrastructure projects. So we can see if they're processing that oil and that money ain't coming back to the country, it's going to be hell to pay. Because everybody knows, wait a minute, it's still the same situation and we're not getting the funds. I think you possibly might just see a coup or something that's just chaos. Because things cannot stay the same. It's impossible for things to stay the same in this situation. So third consequence, job creation and skill development. The refinery is likely to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs, contributing to reduction of unemployment. Moreover, it offers opportunities for skill development in high-tech industry, which can have a ripple effect across the workforce. So anytime you're dealing with energy like that, oil, there's always going to be a need for skill-based labor. I will hope that there's a lot of development of the locals to be doing the jobs instead of hiring out outsiders. Or I think a good, smart move is to get Nigerians that are in Houston and Texas. A lot of them are in the oil industry, petroleum industry, and get them to come back first at brain drain so that they can maybe manage and teach the locals there. That way it's kind of like, hey, it's Nigerians that was abroad that came back, and then you're just keeping that cycle going. So as far as the entrepreneurial opportunities, the refinery opens up numerous business opportunities for entrepreneurs. The potential comes in like petrochemicals. Petrochemicals is pretty much everything that deals with like just a modern life. So if you don't know about petrochemicals, then you just always research more on that. Logistics, tires. We make tires from the byproducts of oil. This, like, if you actually Google what, actually, let me do it. Let me do this. Let me just show you real quick. Byproducts, crude oil. I'm just going to show you how many. So this is saying 65. Oh no, 6,000. They derive from crude oil, and I mean, let me see if there's like a list. What do you call it? Some of them, okay, fertilizer, fluorine, fluorocarbon, perfume, and petroleum jelly, soap, vitamins, some amino acids, gases, lubricants, motor oils, greases. Let me see if I can get a list of. Here we go. Let me do this. Cassettes, tires, sports car bodies, nail polish, boats, soap, shoes, deodorant. All this comes from oil. All this comes from oil. There's more. Refrigerated, cold cream. Like, it's a lot. It's not just gasoline. The toothpaste. So, just so that you are educated when you have conversations with people. When people say, "Oh, we need to get away from oil completely, zero oil," they're ignorant on what oil actually does. It makes life easier for people. It makes life better. So the ones that are saying no oil at all, they're just foolish people and they don't know what they're talking about. So that's something on my camera. So yeah, so that's what oil can do. What else? So there you go. So get back. Logistics, maintenance services. They can also capitalize on just, it makes the ecosystem, the economy better, stronger, more robust. Because there's so many different things that you can do with oil. There's so many sectors you can branch into now. There's so many businesses that can be created because there's so many opportunities. Now you got more tax dollars or more just money flowing in. It's more than just shipping off the raw product. There's more to it, especially it can help in the agriculture sector as well. So fifth consequence, you got energy security. So I already know that there's too many issues of power outages in Nigeria. So what does that also mean? Okay, everyone has a generator, a gas diesel generator. So yeah, you're using diesel gas for the generator, but imagine if you can start also, I guess the next step can be developing your infrastructure for the power grid so that it doesn't always keep going off. So I mean, it's just so many possibilities for investment. I'm gonna show you one company that's trying to getting ahead in what's going on. Some global. So Norway and the UAE are two that develop their oil resources, and we know about those. Maybe not so much Norway. Norway's kind of quiet, but the UAE, everyone, they use their oil reserves very well, to the point where they can have strategic alliances with other countries. They can't be bullied around. Like, they're a major participant in what's that oil group? EPOC. Oil. Sometimes I forget these. OPEC. Is it OPEC? Dubai, OPEC. Yeah, and OPEC. So the major oil producing countries all come together. So that's what it's doing for UAE. So number 7, the role of the private sector. So this is where people like ourselves, or maybe you're just interested in knowing what's going on. But the private sector is very important because the private sector is what brings in the jobs, brings in that robust economy, allows the opportunities, the visions to really flow, the imagination coming from just different people, being creative. This is the role of private company. So Dangote's Refinery underscores the crucial role of the private sector. Governments alone often lack the resources or expertise to undertake such massive project. The private sector can inject innovation, efficiency, and much needed capital, driving meaningful change. For instance, the tech industry in the US, led by private companies like Apple and Microsoft, have been pivotal in establishing the country as a global tech leader. It's true, the government can't do everything. When people look at the government to take care of all their problems or to provide them with jobs, it doesn't work. They can't do it. They don't have that many. It's centralized power is never good, because then they can just control everything and just ruin your life, which I think a lot of the people will agree that's what the Nigerian government has been doing. But when you have to allow other people are creative. We all have our different thoughts. And so when we're able to freely exercise our thoughts and creating something, that's when you start to see development. That's when you start to see progress. So it can't come from the government. The government doesn't have a monopoly on ideas. And then 8.1 sustainable development. Refinery is big, but it's also a balance between you also want to make a balance between sustainable practices, learning from countries like Denmark, which has invested heavily in renewable energy. Nigeria can explore ways to make its oil industry more environmentally friendly. So in that situation, it's kind of like, okay, well, you can make products from crude oil that can be complementary to renewable energy. So in that sense, if you want to build dams, of course, you got your solar powers and anything else in that way. Like, you can use crude oil so that it work together, and then you don't have to use so much crude. So you try to decrease yourself off of crude over time. So just in this is it's a good thing. Like, I guess the point I want you to focus on is this is one man that was able to do this type of transformation. Now, it's not all his money. So you understand about business. People invest. People put their money in. People saw what Dangote was doing. I think he raised, how much money did he raise for this? Of his own money. I think maybe like a few million. So you're always working with other people. It's not like all his money, but people come together. So in this case, Aliko Dangote, he's the head of the group. It's his company. He decided because he knows how to network and all this other stuff, private citizen, not part of the government. I'm sure he gets some kickbacks or he gets some privileges because he's so large. But at the same, you gotta think about it, he hires a lot of people. So this one guy from the private sector was able to do this extraordinary thing. Now imagine if we were relying on the Nigerian government to do this. You think it would have been gotten done? No. Like, I'll take a case in California. If you, I guess you got to know a little bit about California, but this state government has been building a high-speed railroad, or been planning it for, I think, almost 50 years, and there still haven't been anything come from out of it. It's because there's so many regulations, there's so many stops, no. This is what happens when you allow government to be in control. It becomes political in that sense, or when they're just managing everything. They're inefficient, they waste time, and they waste resources because they're not working for that money. It's tax dollars. So in this case, you see what a person like Aliko Dangote, I think he started the vision in 2014 or something like that. Now it's built, it's done, it's starting to receive its shipments. This is how it should be. This is what development looks like. Development looks like this: someone getting on the ground and using their mind, their intelligence and imagination, creating a mastermind, getting other people, connecting with other people that all have the similar goal of getting something done. Development does not come from shouting and doing protest. And this is one thing I get annoyed in seeing. When I see so many people get so, okay, we're going to hold up signs. It doesn't do anything. And I'm just going to make that definitive statement. In the long term, it doesn't do anything. Someone needs to build something. Someone needs to take risks. Someone needs to challenge the status quo, whatever. And that, right, you don't get anywhere by just shouting and saying that you want something. It just doesn't work. So I hope you take this lesson from him, from Dangote, see what he's doing, so that for your own situation. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be successful in what you're doing, and yeah, hopefully more success to you. So if you haven't already done so, look at this video's description, check it out, check out the links, and make sure that everything goes out well and everything works out as it should. So I'll see you in the next video.